Hi, I'm Ben, and today we're going to be talking about what I've learned in the last 100 days of biking to work. I guess those are work days, so not the last 100 days, but either way, that means it's even a longer amount of time that I've been biking. Right now, I'm at my workplace, where a lot of people spend their time. Now, they also spend their time commuting. So the difference between me getting in a car or getting on public transit and going to work and me biking to work is a big one. I show up energized every single day. It's pretty cool, and for every single working day, I've biked to work. Not a single time have I taken public transit or driven a car or are there any other options? Or walked or anything else? I've biked every single day. Well, actually, I guess it's a mixture of driving and biking because if you haven't seen my other videos, installed an e-assist motor on my bike. So it allows me to bike on days that, you know what, I just don't want to get out of bed. It's just, I'm so tired and just, ugh. But it would actually take me probably 30 to 45 minutes to take public transit to work, and I don't own a car anymore, so the quickest and the best way for me to get to work is to take the bike. Now, one thing I can foresee that might be fair, and I will break my streak for it, but I haven't yet, so I'll try not to, but if there's an extreme snowstorm, or if there's an ice storm, I might not bike, not because my studded tires won't work, but because other cars will be reckless and might kill me. So I'll read the situation and I'll figure that out. But other than that, I've been biking and will continue to bike every single day that I work. And I'm gonna try, it's gonna be a day, it's gonna be a whole video when I break my streak. I'm not gonna be happy. It will not be something I want to do. So what did I learn from doing 100 days of biking to work with my e-bike? I learned that it's fun because no matter if I feel like going to work or not, obviously I need to show up to work. I haven't been sick for all this time, and I typically have gotten sick every few months, so maybe it's good that I'm biking every single day. That also might be a coincidence. But my high energy levels, maybe that's to do with me actually being happy at work. Okay. I'm trying to figure out if this is all down to biking or if this is just me. But the one consistent thing is there are days that I have woken up and I am like, I'm gonna get to work, but I really just, I don't want to get out of bed. On those days, I get out of bed, just like everyone else. But the difference is by the time I'm done getting onto my bike, biking to work, getting to work, just locking up and then changing into my clothes, ready for work, I feel energized. And I think anyone at the office can agree on that. There's been a few days where I was just dead tired. Maybe I relied on the motor a little bit more, but for the most part, I was able to show up to work and I continued on. And those days, I would have probably either driven if I had a car still or taken public transit if I didn't have this motor on my bike that just helped me along on those days. I think there's probably about 4 days in the last 100 days where I'm just like, oh my God, please, I don't want to have to bike. But the rest of the 96 days, I don't have this down to a science, but either way, the other 96 days, it was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you can get that in a car, I don't know, some people like driving, but there's a difference between loving driving and then loving driving in traffic. Huge difference. I know a few car guys, especially in London, Ontario. They're friends, acquaintances, and they love driving, but they hate driving in Toronto because it's driving in Toronto, especially during rush hour traffic. You can't floor it. You can't drive your precious car because it won't go faster if you go through cars. It's no fun to drive in traffic. And instead, this biking to work, I've averaged about 16 to 17 to 18-ish minutes from one door to the other. So this is including me packing my bike and then locking up. So this is yeah, from me pressing lock on my door at home to getting into the elevator at work. Like, that's really quick. And you know what? I'm gonna check this tomorrow morning and tomorrow evening. I'm gonna check what it would take between biking and driving, and we're gonna figure out if it's actually a big difference, because we know my times, but what is it for driving during rush hour? I can definitely tell you that it is not fast, and I speed past so many cars. And here's some GoPro footage of it, because why not? In the last bit, gotten a GoPro Hero 7 because it has a little bit of stabilization on it, and I kind of wanted a dash cam because there are some lunatics on the road, and I just wanted to capture some of the lunacy that goes on. Maybe I'll make a montage at some point of all of the crazy stuff, maybe like a quarterly update of all of the crazy stuff that happens while I'm on my bike during mostly commutes. I'd say that 90% of my bike rides are commutes. The next thing that I've found out, maybe not learnt, but it's a pretty cool thing. I'm able to, on my way back from work, get groceries. So I take my 2 panniers, or panniers, however you want to pronounce them, it's fine. Either way, I get those, I bring them into the grocery store, I load them up with my stuff, my groceries, my food, my things, and I usually get about like 4 days of food, sometimes even a week of food out of just one quick like $20 to $40 shopping session. And I put everything in my bags, including the stuff like that's already in them. So like my toolkit here, that's always there. That takes up that much space. And then the rest, this is just empty space. Sometimes if it's raining, it's a little bit harder because I have some of my rain gear in there. So what I can do though is plan around the rain days. Even though the weather network is not the greatest in accuracy, it's pretty good. So you know if it's going to be sunny, it's going to be fine. If it's going to be cloudy, also fine. If it's going to be rainy, mostly fine. Sometimes if it's raining harder, I don't end up doing groceries, and that's what having a little bit of extra food in the pantry is for. I've never had a problem of me running out of food, except for once, but that was just me getting back from a weekend and realizing that I hadn't shopped in a while. Anyway, so yeah, grocery shopping is right along my route to and from my commute. It's so nice to have that right there, because it's literally on my commute. I go bloop, and I like a 20-second detour and I'm there. So it's great. What else? What else have I learned? You pedal hard. Okay, lane splitting. If you have ever biked and you got a flat tire, it's annoying. If you ride on the edge of the road, that's where all of the crud gets thrown. So nails, rocks, ice, snow, rain, a ton of water that's just washing down the side of the road. Roads are shaped like this. If you've ever noticed, they are. Maybe not like this drastically, but the middles of the roads are slightly pointed so that the water, when it falls, drifts to either side of the roads to the drainage. That's how things work. And when you are right over here at the drainage side, that's, again, where everything goes. It's really annoying for you, and it will pop your tires. So what I've done is stopped going there, and I go mostly in the middle of the lane. Now, before any drivers see this and say, oh my God, Ben, you're holding up traffic. No, I'm not. The traffic is going so slow that I pass all of the traffic. Yet again, 16 minutes from door to door. I get there really quick. It's just ridiculous to drive in that traffic, so I don't. I lane split. This is somewhat controversial, but it is neither legal or illegal to lane split in Ontario. It's very messy. If you're doing it dangerously, then yeah, don't do it dangerously. A cop could theoretically pull you over and be like, hey, you were driving recklessly. Yeah, that's not good. But the thing is, I've passed multiple cops. I don't think I can go through all of the GoPro footage and actually find the instances that I've passed cops while lane splitting, but I've passed probably 7 or 10-ish in that range cops. No one's come after me. It's fine. I don't blast through. The GoPro footage that you've seen in previous videos or in future videos, it looks like I'm going pretty fast. Sometimes I am going that fast, but oftentimes, especially if the cars are right here, because of the wide angle lens, it looks like I'm just plowing through at 60 kilometers an hour. Not the case. Typically I'm going about 20 to 30 kilometers an hour. And the legal limit for an e-bike is 32 kilometers an hour anyway. So yeah, I'm trying to think here. What are some inconveniences? Okay, so to be fair, when there is no traffic, I could probably drive faster. That's happened a few times. One time I forgot my lunch. I'm like, you know what? It's sitting on the counter. I should probably not let that go bad. So at lunchtime, my 1 hour lunch, I took 30 minutes and went both there and back. And it was slower than if I were to drive because it was noontime and there were no cars on the road. So it's really the commuting times in the morning and the evening that you benefit most from cycling. If you are trying to bike from one city to another, that is bike trekking, not commuting. The other thing that I looked up, and this is somewhat different from the LTC compared to the TTC. So the London, Ontario Transit Commission and the Toronto Transit Commission, they're a little bit different with this. You can't put your bikes on the front of the buses. And I kind of get this from the flow perspective because you're moving a lot of people and you can't afford for there to be a delay. Anyone who's taken the LTC knows that there are just endless delays. So I think that the TTC has purposefully not put bike racks on the fronts of their buses, which is really inconvenient. I haven't seen any with them on them. It kind of sucks because you can't just take a bus down close to downtown and then bike the rest of the way. Pretty much if I go downtown, I either bike the whole way and back the whole way, or I just take the subway and I just TTC it the whole way. I guess off of peak hours, what I could do is bike to one of the subway stations, bring my bike in, and then put it onto the subway. But that's in off-peak hours. So actually, I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I should, but you can't do that with the buses, I don't think. Nor would I want to. I don't want to inconvenience people. And actually, that's one of the biggest things when I am commuting, and especially at night, and you can see inside the buses because they're all lit up and it's dark outside because that's how physics and light works. I look in and I see a lot of people, and I'm like, huh, that's really, really cozy. As in, I would be dying because meanwhile, like, people are nice and cozy inside and I'm nice and cozy in my jacket biking. This is talking more on the cold side. During the summer, I actually have built-in AC. So I use the motor a little bit more if I'm really hot and I lay off pedaling so hard. But in the winter, I have a built-in heater. I actually end up overheating way more often than I end up getting cold. Like, as long as you have gloves like these, and I also carry the other ones because sometimes it's actually way too warm. If it's like about zero, anything under zero, these work until like -40. So these keep my hands nice and toasty. Yeah, more often than not, I just overheat. Now, so far, I've biked in about -20, and then now it's gone up to +10 yesterday, and today's 6 and tomorrow's 2. So that's about the range that I'm at right now. One more thing is I've kind of learned how to bring my work clothes here in bulk. So on rainy days, I don't bring my work clothes because they could get wet. I mean, a few times I have and nothing's happened, but what I do is I just bring a bunch of shirts and I bring my pants and I bring everything I need on one of the nice days. So then I pile them in here. I don't iron them. These are mostly no iron, but this one isn't. This one works fine. If you just shake it out, you're good. I could fold them. I probably should. I haven't. And I have different socks that I wear here, which are kind of more black, but I don't wear them while biking because I end up sweating, and no one likes stinky socks. So these are all fresh. I'm down to 2. I just change into these shoes. These are my work shoes. Every day, they just are the same ones, and it's totally fine, because then, when I'm heading home, I just wear these ugly ones that are just very dirty, and they can deal with getting dirt on them. One additional thing, I have these shoes that aren't clip-in or anything. They're just normal, regular shoes, and they're decent. If it is somewhat raining, there's only a few days where I've really had to wear these, which are just my waterproof. If you haven't seen my video, you can check it out on how to bike It's all the tips that I've come up with for biking in the rain, but I don't need to wear these as often as you might think. And I don't have my booties today, even though I knew it was gonna rain, because these, like, by the time I get to home, after about, again, like the 16 to 18 minutes of biking, these aren't fully saturated. And by the time, so I get home, let's say, and I'm wet, oh no. So I walk to the door, I put these at the front, and by the morning, these are dry. But it's not a big deal if you get a little bit wet here and there. So it's only in the extreme cases where it's just downpouring that I put on the waterproof booty things, whatever, the ugliest attire you can ever put on. Luckily, no one can see you because they're busy driving and they see your red light and they have the windshield wipers going, and they're not going to notice, and if they do, it doesn't matter, that you're wearing the ugliest stuff. They're going to just see in actually this case, when I wear these and this, can you even tell the difference? Actually, there's a slight shade difference, but if you are wearing these and this, I just look like a giant blueberry. It's kind of hilarious. Now, during the summer, if you've watched that video yet again, the yellow jacket looks like I'm an ice cream cone, because these are the bottoms combined with yellow. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, that's all I have to say. Yes, I just straight up recorded the entire video in my office. I mean, it's nice and cozy. Actually, okay, wait. There is one more thing, and it's how to read radar. I knew how to read this before. You just go on the Weather Network and then you check it out. But here's the secret. You can use it, and if you like your work or if you work online, I don't have to be in any particular place at any point. So when I end work, I'm going to end up on the computer anyway, doing web stuff or video creation stuff. So I can do it at work. So if it's pouring rain outside and it's going to stop in an hour, I just chill. Either you can listen to a podcast, you can read a book, you can call someone, catch up, or you can film a video, or you can do some web development. Anyway, if you can make it so that you can work anywhere on any computer, then you don't have to worry about, oh no, it's raining really hard right now. You just wait a little bit. In this case, right now, I am just waiting actually a little bit too long. It's gonna start raining in probably about 45 minutes, but I'm good to go. Maybe I'll do an update in another 50 bikes, so that'll be a few months from now. But I will do a frost biking episode as well, maybe multiple. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you have watched this far, please go ahead and like the video. And if you are not subscribed, go ahead and please subscribe. It helps me. And hit the bell icon so that when I do post another video, you get notified. You know, right after you finish commuting, you're like, oh, a notification. I should watch this. Yeah, that. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!